everyone. With gratitude to Babaji, we are going to start now with where we left off yesterday. Okay, so we talked about this sentence yesterday, which was that I saw God as omnipresence. I saw God as absolute energy in which every unit is energized. I have seen that every unit in omnipresence is in coexistence. So, this was one of the beautiful sentences. In fact, if not one of the best, because everything is summarized in this, where we are seeing that God is been spoken of, where we are also seeing omnipresence, as in space is also spoken of, and where every unit means from the atom to the complex structures of molecules to the organs, to the organ systems, to all what we are as animal kingdom and the plant kingdom and the human kingdom. All these units are energized in this omnipresence, and omnipresence is in coexistence. So it's not just that they are energized by this, they are also coexisting with everything else and in orderliness. That's the main part, because it is not just a coincidence, or everything is not just happening. Water is not just occurring naturally, cycling naturally, but because of the inherent nature of all the three orders to be with coexistence and in coexistence with each other, they have this unique ability to uh, preserve and continue to renew the what we can say is resources around us, right? Okay, then one of the other sentences we would like to see is that individualism ends anti-coexistence and has become the basis for fragmentation of humankind. So yesterday we had stopped at this point. This is also another interesting point where coincidentally we were just watching this series which has come out. I think the name of the series is The Adolescent, and it was aired on Netflix, I think, a while back. And in it, we could see how the children in the country of United Kingdom, they are given so much of reference of giving them freedom of all the rights that they are given, and what kind of havoc that it is creating, and what kind of individualism it is creating, and that again how it is impacting the social life of the student minds and the schooling years. It's very interesting to watch. I must warn the audience that it is a little bit on the side of uh, a lot of it is involving killing someone or using of these drugs and all these kind of things. So all these things that is touching the normal adolescent life today, it is about that, and quite an eye opener in the sense that what is happening in reality in today's day and age in the countries which are so-called developed. So yeah, I mean, if you want to have a reference of what to see what might happen in India, also we can have a look at that, and we can just have a an idea, because it's worth looking into, because some of the things that are depicted there are already started happening in India in the schools that we can see today. Okay, so I will now continue. Where can one live apart from coexistence? The simple solution for living in coexistence is to know, believe, recognize coexistence within humans. So this is also a rhetorical question. Where can we live apart from coexistence? Coexistence के सिवाय कहाँ रह सकते हैं हम? Everything is in coexistence with each other, so we cannot live away from it or apart from it. Simple proverb that comes into mind is no man is an island. Basically, everything is intertwined and interconnected. So this is a rhetorical question trying to tell us that look, we are not going to survive alone, and we never do. Everything is related and intertwined with everything else, right? From the simple air that we breathe to the water that we drink, everything is cyclicity and everything is connected with everything else. The simple solution for living in coexistence is to know, believe, and recognize coexistence within humans. So, whether or not we recognize it or we see it, we will have to learn it one day or the other, because if we don't live in coexistence, we will create a sort of disarray within us. And in the subsequent paragraph, we will see what Babaji is trying to say if we don't live in coexistence. If this is recognized, then one becomes capable of living in orderliness and participating in universal orderliness, about which we will study subsequently. So, um, this means that once we have recognized this coexistence, then we will be capable of living in orderliness. We will not uh, just inhabit it as an understanding, but we will also enact it with our व्यवहार, which is behavior, with our actions, which is क्रिया. हमारी हर एक क्रिया जो है वो orderliness के साथ होगी, है ना? So that's the most important part. Such living includes living in coexistence with animal world and the plant world as well. If we take something from the plant world, then we should have something to give back as well. So this is simply saying that if we are taking something, we should also be able to have the position of giving back. This is the nature of basic nature of coexistence. Now, this is the part which is the very, I have highlighted it purposely because it says if we want to only take and not give anything, it is selfish. It is selfishness, which ultimately leads to frustration and suffering. So, we can see now when we have taken from the land, when we have taken from the, I mean, when I take from the land, I mean the forests and all these resources in the form of minerals, coal mines, iron mines, copper mines, and all this kind of mines we have taken from the earth. We have taken from the water bodies. We have suffocated the plant life and the also the marine life, and we have also polluted the air. So all the three things that is very inherent for the humans to live, which is also known as the biosphere, we have contaminated all the 3 points of it, or at least where the civilization of humans are. That's where it is contaminated. So this is ultimately selfishness, and ultimately leads to frustration and suffering, as we can witness today. Because of all this pollution which is around, we are suffering literally. Every breath that we take in the major cities is composed of particles of soot or particles of pollution, which are actually slowly degrading our lifespan. The events unfolding today serve as testament to this reality. As I give the example, just giving the testament to reality. To live in coexistence is essential to ascertain our coexistence with mineral, plant, and animal worlds. So, when we live with coexistence, then it will be essential and that we ascertain our coexistence. That means the human order's coexistence with the mineral, plant, and animal worlds. That's when we will ultimately be in orderliness with everything else. Actually, the point is by this sentence is that everything else is in coexistence, just that the human has not found that particular place where he can put himself as saying that he's part of the existence. A failure to do so renders us neither scholars, scientists, nor wise. In essence, our knowledge, science, and wisdom remain incomplete without this fundamental understanding. So, bookish knowledge, as it said here, from the scholars and scientists and whoever are calling themselves wise, uh, knowledge and science and wisdom remain incomplete without this fundamental understanding, which is that we live in coexistence. It is essential to ascertain our coexistence with mineral, plant, and animal world. So that is the point that is being made. Quite straightforward, I think. If anybody wants to add or have a comment, they can do so. I'm going to now read the next paragraph. Anybody else want to say something or have uh, a point of realization or have any uh, ideas to share?
So, भैया things are clear. It's very
हम्म, हाँ,
safe.
बहुत बहुत सही से जा रहा है एक्चुअली, ये बहुत इजी भी
हम्म
समझ में आ रहा है क्योंकि हम लोग बेसिक्स उसका तो पाए जो है उसको तो समझ में आ गया है. वी आर टॉकिंग
बिल्कुल.
अबाउट एग्जिस्टेंस, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द थ्री ऑर्डर्स, सो ऑल इज जस्ट बीइंग like rechurning in our mind again. So how
हम्म
will we live without the plants, earth, mountains, minerals, and animals? We have to we have to live with these, with all these. All this matter, treasures, and splendors of nature have to exist along with us. These need to exist, and we need to coexist with them. So here, if you can just see how beautifully this last sentence is, these need to exist means the treasures, the splendors, the matter, these need to exist. The splendors of nature. If they don't exist, then we cannot also exist. We will not be able to coexist with them. So first part is that these need to exist. So gene do or geo. So that's the point we are trying to say here. Humans are central to ensuring this coexistence. Human beings being in delusion have lived in frustration and suffering. I think this should have been highlighted because whoever is in the delusion mindset, or let's say a delusion mindset would be राक्षस प्रवृत्ति या फिर जानवर प्रवृत्ति या जीव प्रवृत्ति, है ना. So they are basically still going to be frustrated and will be suffering. Only Manav Pravruti, like the ones who have come to the place of coexistence, will be able to feel the happiness of the same. So we also can deduce that everything which is existing on earth is out of frustration, be it the business, be it the sort of ways that we are conducting. Also, wars are happening. All these kind of things are out of frustration, which in happening in mind, all the minds of the humans all over the world. Now there is a need to turn the tide. अब हमको बदलना है, हमारे रीत रिवाज बदलनी है. Humans need to awaken and recognize coexistence with everything. The way of recognizing coexistence I found is to see that all these are present in omnipotence space, which is the first testimony of coexistence. So here he is saying the underlining thread that binds everything, excuse me, is the omnipotence. And this is the first testimony to coexistence. So this is the very thread, the first very thread which is binding everything, and which is the omnipotence, the space. The biological order has emerged is influenced and has a continuity of its splendor from the material order. The biological order in itself is effective, evident, and splendorous in the form of orderliness. The animal world is also evident in the form of inherent orderliness. Humans need to evidence their inherent orderliness. So again, all the three orders defined with their splendor, with their qualities of coexistence, except for the last line, humans are the ones who need to be evidencing their inherent orderliness. बढ़िया. We do have Ganesh Bane, Bhaiya, would you like to read?
Yes, भैया, I can
हाँ,
read.
okay.
So, how will humans understand this self and inheritness? Self should also be understood, and inheritness should also be understood. One understand both self and inheritness from Jeevan Vidhya. I recognize Jeevan in the form of self, and so can you. We remain in delusion till we believe the body to be the self. I started living in orderliness from the moment I recognized Jeevan as self. so you will also be able to live thus. Orderliness is not going to happen before that. Understanding this is such a natural, coexistentially complete process where Jeevan is the entity that understands and Jeevan itself is the entity to be understood.
Mm.
So, very good paragraph, and we can
Yeah,
discuss
yeah.
about this. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the last line is actually very easy to understand. I started living in orderliness from the moment I recognized Jivan as self. Here he's saying that we are a coexistence of the body and the Jivan, and I, which is the factor of what exactly I am as a self, is called Jivan. And it is when this happened that I started living in orderliness. So the moment we are away from the bodily needs or the bodily requirements, because we are almost stuck in this position that this body is our body, it is us, it is me, my thoughts, my head, my brain. uh, the word in Hindi is asakti. There is an asakti or attachment which is with the body, and that also creates a sort of this delusion of having, procuring, owning all the things that are around us. So when we realize that we are all just part of everything else, with coexisting with everything else, then we suddenly realize that, oh, okay, Jivan is the one which is the driving and recognizing force. And once we have seen this, that knowledge is the way it will get fully developed and fully how would you say, the दसों क्रिया उसके अंदर start हो जाएगी. So then it will start evidencing itself with the traditions as we had discussed before. So till that point, that we are not able to transfer the knowledge to other jivans, to other people around us, we will never be satisfied, we will never be tranquil. So until and then that point comes in our lives, we will always feel that we have to achieve, and that achievement, even if we get it, even if we do achieve it, be it financial position or कोई भी पद हमको मिल जाता है, but still we will always have this sort of deficiency in us, because it is still within the realms of four and a half kriyas. Whatever amount of wealth that we gain, it will still not be fully utilizing the jivan's potential. So yeah, and then the next line is orderliness is not going to happen before that. So again here, if we are not recognizing the jivan, then orderliness will not happen. Understanding this is such a natural, coexistentially complete process where jivan is the entity that understands, and jivan itself is the entity to be understood. So here it's like something which is sentient, which is alive within us, is able to understand itself. So this is again what is, I think, trying to be depicted with these lines, that the same thing that is within us is able to understand also, okay, that we can understand what is within us. This is the part that is the most beautiful. It's like if you imagine our brain, we have tools right now of science in the nature of MRI machines and all these kind of things, that they can give photographs of our own brain, and we can understand how our own brain looks like. So this is again another way of putting it in simple terms, that because of this darshan, we are able to recognize the jivan and its kriyas, and how it is the one which evidences through knowledge and transfers it through traditions. So all these kind of things are coming out, and then how it lives in orderliness also because of this knowledge. है ना?
So
बढ़िया.
earlier it was that
Hmm.
people or we used to consider self as our body, but
Hmm.
here clearly it is mentioned that self is the Jivan. And very important last line, it is written that uh, Jivan is the entity that understand and Jivan itself is the entity to be understood. है ना?
Right,
कि
right.
समझने वाली वस्तु भी जीवन है और
Hmm.
समझता भी जीवन है. So
Hmm.
this is a very very important line and
Hmm.
needs to be understood. Once we understand this,
mm,
Then this is the first step in understanding. Then how Jeevan needs to understand how it will be understood. First, we have to understand what the Jeevan is. Like
mm.
you mentioned about the 10 kriyas. You know?
Right,
So
right.
the Jeevan we will consider into five parts, and then the 10 kriyas will be there. So that
Mm,
is the step. And once we understand what the Jivan is, now then next step will be, now we have to understand by
mm,
properly setting all the kriyas of the Jivan. Then
mm,
what will be the right kind of living, or what is the kind of living we are having at present. So what
mm,
needs to be changed so that
mm,
we can have a feeling of bodh and atma and realization,
mm.
all those things.
Yeah.
We need to make certain changes, or there is a shift in thinking. So
Shift in
this
thinking,
line
right.
is, I think this line is very, very important. The Jivan
Mm,
is the entity that understands, and Jivan
mm.
itself is the entity to be understood.
Yeah, yeah. I'm reminded of one thing that me and Shalini always discuss these days. It's that when we are looking at everyday events in our life, we certainly realize that I mean, our how do we say it? Our intellect is so sharp now that any event that comes in front of us, we are able to judge and not get emotionally attached to the decisions that we make, and we just go ahead with the task in hand. For example, I'll give you, just yesterday there was this farm that we went to, and I had downed some coconuts, right? So that person was charging something like 5 to 6 rupees to down each coconut. So to my mind, he had just downed something like 40 coconuts, so it was something like 200 rupees. But to me, I realized that he had climbed so many trees, and to him, 200 might be feeling that he's finding it maybe less. So, to continue the relationship with him, so that he doesn't feel that he has been robbed, so that he also does not feel that I have taken exact amount that we had discussed and he is tied with that amount, I paid him 50 rupees extra. And on my way, I was thinking of how that person was thanking him and asking him whenever he want to do any other work, just call him this, that, other. So just a matter of like an hour we were with him, he was able to form a relationship, have a good feeling about himself and what the work he has done. And ultimately 50 rupees to me is like, to anyone for that matter, it is just like a snack, for example, that we spend so much money on snacks. But this person found that the 50 rupees is for him is a boon. So we are valuing, or we are being justful, or we are being trying to be justful also with our actions. And this is the thing that I have seen within me change also, within Shalini also, that we don't have a tendency to argue about small things. Rather, we see the bigger picture, and we are able to give our decisions or to take decisions basically into even orderliness in the disorder that we have right now, which is going on today. So it's not like that we are going to continue like the other people are doing, and the other people are taking on the duties of the world the way it is. But we, as people who have understood coexistence, we need to also practice it in simple ways, that I think at least that we should give sort of inclination towards being thoughtful, justful, and all these kind of things start happening in your life also. I believe that is the case with everyone. Unnecessarily arguments or unnecessary a prolongation of thoughts, why didn't it happen my way, it should happen this way only, we start to understand from that person's point of view. So we almost become like mirrors, and mirroring their and we see that need to change when we talk
Bhaiya,
about orderliness.
your
Hi, yes, please.
connection was freezing, I think.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, I
Okay.
continue reading.
Ha.
According to idealistic idealists Liberation occurs when drishta, the one who sees, drishya, that which is to be seen, and darshan, the knowledge from seeing, becomes one. According to them, God is drishta, God is drishya, and God is darshan. This is as per the idealists. A great deal has been written based on these premises. Still, it is not understood. What is God? Where is God? Why is God? In spite of this, people listen to such discourses because it feels good. It has been observed that gap between feeling good and being good remains unchanged. Wonderful.
Mm.
Subsequently, some began to describe humans as machines. This concept too did not succeed, yet they continued to advocate for it. Just as they couldn't adequately explain God, yet persisted in discussing it. In this way, we had become stuck, unable to think of anything beyond this. The way out of this situation is to begin with the premise that Jeevan is eternal and body is recurring even for Jeevan.
Mm.
The body gets formed in the form. An
Mm.
atom attains Jeevan status upon development through a natural process in existence.
Mm. Yeah. So I think this last line was also a question. I think Shalini also asked. An atom attains Jeevan status upon development through a natural process in existence. So now this is the question, that what is that natural process if we want to know that. But for the time being, it is clarified here that every atom, again, I think that's what I'm understanding, attains Jeevan status upon development through a natural process in existence. So that is what I'm understanding here, which is a very, very, very deep and very, very profound statement, because there are so many atoms in this world. I think if I am getting my numbers right, the number of atoms on one drop of water is something 5 multiplied by 10 to the power 12, if I'm not mistaken. So that is the amount of atoms that are there in just one drop of water. So imagine how many atoms there are there, and all these atoms are in Vikas Kram Vikas, and then I think it goes to Jagriti Kram Jagriti. So is it right to say that Shalini is also with us? But the way it is written here, it means that only an atom attains Jeevan status upon development through a natural process in existence.
नहीं जनक ऐसे like क्या like what are you guessing that all the atoms are in the
हाँ,
process
I
of
mean,
becoming Jeevan?
yeah, because I'm not in the process, but व्यवस्था में तो है. But some the some of them convert to जीवन. That's what I'm understanding according to the need, right?
Yeah,
Need of व्यवस्था.
so some of them have, देखो बहुत सारे जो अंश है ना,
Hmm.
सभी अंशों ने अपने अपने आप को एक तरीके से जो प्रकटन जो हुआ है ना पदार्थावस्था में, तो वो
Hmm.
सज गए हैं, है ना। तो उसमें से
Hmm.
कुछ एक ऐसे सजे हैं जिसमें जो मध्यस्थ 61 वाले हो गए, और बाकी सब ऐसे सजे हैं कि और प्रकार के परमाणु हैं। पर
Hmm.
उसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि बाकी सारे जो परमाणु हैं वो
Hmm.
जीवन बनने के क्रम में है, ऐसा नहीं है।
Okay.
हाँ।
Hmm. So even if in the scientific world we see that after the disintegration of planets or things like that happen, then the stars are forming again and all these things are combining again. So I think the atoms, they keep their status, is it? That's the.
सी नाउ दिस इमेजिनेशन ऑफ डिसइंटीग्रेशन ना, जिसको आदर्शवाद में लय प्रलय, या फिर
Hmm.
यहाँ पर हम कंस्ट्रक्शन डिस्ट्रक्शन बोल रहे हैं ना, इसकी बाबा जी बात करते हैं। कोई भी जैसे धरती है ना या कोई भी प्लैनेट है, तो पूर्णता और पूर्णता की निरंतरता ये गति है उसकी, है ना। हर
Hmm.
एक प्लैनेट की गति है जिसमें एक दिशा है, उस दिशा को बोल रहे हैं विकास क्रम विकास, जागृति क्रम जागृति। ये एक अपना एक्सिस है ना, जीरो से लेकर के वो हर एक प्लैनेट जो है इसी की तरफ गतित है, तो
Okay.
स्थिरता की तरफ गतित है। तो गति की
Okay.
जो दिशा है उस दिशा का नाम दिया है विकास क्रम विकास, जागृति क्रम जागृति। तो
Hmm.
जागृति का मतलब है कि चारों अवस्थाएं हो गई, और चारों अवस्थाएं संतुलन में निरंतर हमेशा
हम्म,
सदा सदा के लिए बनी हुई है। तो इसको बोल
हम्म,
रहे हैं पूर्णता और पूर्णता की निरंतरता। तो
ओके।
जागृति है ना, जागृति क्रम में पूर्णता हुई जागृति की तरह, और जागृति फिर हमेशा बनी हुई है चारों अवस्थाओं में संतुलन के रूप में।
हम्म,
तो यहाँ
या,
पर डिस्ट्रक्शन वाला कंसेप्ट नहीं है कि एक समय तक चलेगा और उसके बाद फिर ये धरती डिस्ट्रक्ट हो जाएगी, और there
हम्म,
is no destruction happening at all. And if
हम्म,
anything is perceived as destruction, that is also for the sake of some kind of new emergence that is going to happen.
राइट।
कोई और प्रकटन क्रम में, जैसे डायनासोर्स और ये सभी खत्म हुए ना, तो उसमें उस क्रम में क्या हुआ, जो चूहे और मोल बोलते हैं ना, छछूंदर, ये जो
वार्म
स्तनधारी
ब्लडेड,
होते हैं।
वार्म ब्लडेड
हाँ,
एनिमल
यस यस, है
सर्वाइव।
ना। तो एग्जैक्टली तो वार्म ब्लडेड बच गए, है ना, तो वो स्तनधारियों से ही आगे की शरीर रचनाएं विकसित हुई, जिससे होते होते फिर मानव आया, है ना। तो नहीं तो स्तनधारी फिर, क्योंकि वो तो उनके तो बहुत बड़े अंडे थे, है ना, डायनासोर्स के। तो अ, वो भी एक क्रम है ना। उस क्रम में जब उसकी आवश्यकता समाप्त हो गई, तो उस क्रम में ही कोई घटना घटी है। तो इसको पूरे में देखेंगे तो ऐसा समझ में आता है। तो देयर इज नथिंग लाइक डिस्ट्रक्शन दैट इज हैपनिंग, है ना। जैसे कोई वोल्केनो भी इरप्ट होकर के बाहर आ गया ना, तो ऐसा
हाँ
लगता
वो,
है कि कोई डिस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है, बट इट इज नॉट डिस्ट्रक्टिंग। अभी सॉइल में उतने एलिमेंट्स की जरूरत है ऊपरी लेयर
राइट,
पे, तो
राइट।
इसके लिए वो सारे के सारे बाहर आ जाते हैं। तो गर्भ में पदार्थों के रहने की भी एक स्थिति है, और गर्भ से बाहर आने की भी एक स्थिति है ना। तो ऐसे वोल्केनो इरप्शन से, तो ऑल दीज वर्ड्स साउंड नेगेटिव, लाइक डिस्ट्रक्शन, इरप्शन, ये सब नेगेटिव तभी तक दिखते हैं जब हम इसको एक विखंडनवादी विधि से या किसी एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम में देख रहे हैं। अगर इसको स्कीम ऑफ थिंग्स में देख रहे हैं ना, मतलब एक लार्ज पे, तो फिर हमको ये डिस्ट्रक्शन नहीं दिखाई पड़ेगा, है ना।
या, या आई गेट योर पॉइंट उसमें। लेकिन जो पार्ट जो है, जो साइंस में हमने सीखा है और देखा है कि द सन इज स्लोली डिसइंटीग्रेटिंग एंड इट विल टेक बिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स, बट इट विल सडनली certainly one day finish off its fuel, which is the hydrogen, and all the hydrogen will be converted to helium or other complex atoms in the
Yeah.
in the sun, basically, and then it will slowly disintegrate. Now obviously, as you said, I get it कि disintegrate मतलब वो व्यवस्था के लिए होगा, but when केंद्रीय में
पर
से ही जो बिंदु हाँ।
डिसइंटीग्रेशन नहीं होगा ना। अभी हम लोग देखेंगे तो न्यूक्लियर फ्यूजन की स्थिति है सन में। तो सन धीरे
हाँ,
धीरे ठंडक की तरफ बढ़ करके इसमें हैवी न्यूक्लियस वाले परमाणु बनेंगे, और ये भी
हाँ,
इसकी
ये
गति भी
सही
उसी
बात है।
तरफ है, विकास क्रम विकास, जागृति क्रम जागृति की तरफ, है ना।
हम्म,
और उसके जो आवश्यक जो चेंजेस होते हैं वो होते ही हैं। कल ही मैं
हम्म,
पढ़ रही थी, कोई एक फ्रेंच व्यक्ति था जिसने
हम्म,
अब धरती से ना कई मीटर नीचे जा करके अपनी पूरी बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक, उसको पता ही ना चले सन के साथ वो ना हो।
हम्म,
इट वॉज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, आई वॉज थिंकिंग टू शेयर, बट देन आई लॉस्ट द आर्टिकल, मुझे फिर से कहीं से ढूंढना पड़ेगा।
हम्म,
सो जब ये नीचे चला गया ना, तो उसकी पूरी बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक है ना अपने आप ऐसे सेट हो गई थी दैट ही वॉज वेकिंग अप फॉर 36 आवर्स एंड स्लीपिंग फॉर 12 आवर्स, है ना। तो जब उसका पूरा ये बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक अपने आप सेट हो गया,
हाँ,
और उसमें कई सारे उसने उन लोगों ने ये एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए थे, जैसे व्हेन ही वाज साइलेंट तो उसके ब्रेन में क्या क्या चीजें चेंज हुई। तो जब अंधेरा होगा तो हमारा पूरा बॉडी जो है ना अपने आप को ये अनुकूलता, जिसको एडेप्शन बोलते हैं ना साइंस में, सो
या,
इट इज क्वाइट केपेबल ऑफ अडेप्टिंग, है ना।
राइट,
मीनवाइल
हाँ,
इसको ऐसे भी सोच सकते हैं, देयर आर इट इज गोइंग टू टेक स्टिल बिलियन ऑफ ईयर्स, है ना, मे बी मिलियंस मिलियंस ऑफ ईयर्स। तो अगर हम देखें धरती की स्थिति को, तो पूर्णता की स्थिति तो उसमें बहुत जल्दी आने की संभावना है ना। अभी हम कल्पना करते हैं कि जैसे 100 साल लगे एजुकेशन को, एजुकेशन आज से 1892 में इस
राइट,
ये चीजों के प्रस्ताव आए, है ना। तो अभी हम अगर देखेंगे 100 सवा 100 साल हुए हैं लगभग इस
राइट,
एजुकेशन को आए हुए। तो 125 ईयर्स में ये, और उससे ऑलरेडी पीड़ा बन गई है बहुत सघन। तो अब
हम्म,
इस सघन पीड़ा के बाद मुझे लगता है अधिकतम 50 वर्ष लगेंगे लोगों को एक सही शिक्षा को अपनाने में, या चलो
हम्म,
100 साल भी लग जाए। तो अभी हमको 100 साल में यहाँ पर पूर्णता और उसके बाद पूर्णता की निरंतरता, ये चीज दिखाई पड़ती है ना।
राइट,
सो
राइट,
आफ्टर अ सर्टेन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम मे बी ओके, इट्स ओके, इस धरती पर नहीं तो आगे और बहुत सारे प्लैनेट्स हैं जहाँ पर ये विकास क्रम विकास की स्थिति बनी ही हुई है ना। तो वो आगे आगे प्लैनेट्स उसी हिसाब से इवॉल्व होते चले जाएंगे। सो
या, आई
वो
मीन
सब
देर
है
इज,
ना, पूरकता के अर्थ में ही कुछ भी हो रहा है, कोई भी घटना है ना। जो
हाँ,
सहअस्तित्ववाद का कंसेप्ट है, इट इज सेइंग कुछ भी है ना, सूरज ठंडा भी हो रहा है तो वो भी एक
हम्म
क्रम में ही ठंडा हो रहा
हम्म
है ना,
राइट।
सूरज का ठंडा होना भी।
हम्म
तो
बढ़िया।
इस तरीके
बढ़िया।
की बात है, इसको ऐसे
हाँ
देख सकते हैं।
हाँ।
भैया,
या
योर
हम्म
व्हेन यू आर हैविंग द क्वेश्चन, है ना, ये
हम्म
आपका क्वेश्चन था
हम्म
कि ये कैसे बना, है ना, एटम कैसे बना,
हम्म
जीवन एटम। तो
हाँ
आई हैव रेड इन संवाद एज वेल एज इन कर्म दर्शन। तो
ओके।
वहां पे क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है कि जैसे ये अजीर्ण और भूखे मीन्स एनी एटम हैविंग मोर पार्टिकल्स देन the last octet is complete, having
हम्म
more than those particles, and
हम्म
there can be another atom which has less than the last octet complete.
हम्म
So there are
हम्म
chances that they will react, है ना,
हम्म
तो वो
राइट।
रिएक्ट करके एक न्यू प्रोडक्ट बनाएंगे। बट
हम्म
इस केस में जहां पे जीवन परमाणु बना, यहाँ
हम्म
पे नया प्रोडक्ट नहीं बना, है ना।
हम्म
यहाँ पे उसने क्या किया, लास्ट जैसे सपोज कीजिए
हम्म
61 है एक न्यूक्लियस में दिखाया है, और
हम्म
60 आउटर शेल में है, 2 8 18
राइट।
32। तो
हम्म
अभी 32 से ज्यादा अगर हम इसको बोले कि ये अजीर्ण होगा, तो इट
हम्म
मीन्स हैविंग मोर देन 32, इट मीन्स इट कुड हैव बीन 33 इन द
हम्म
लास्ट ऑक्टेट ना,
हम्म
लास्ट ऑक्टेट आई एम सेइंग। तो
राइट।
ओवरऑल इट कैन बी 63 और इट कैन बी 61। So
हम्म
here they have not combined, rather they have either gained or lost one particle, or in scientific knowledge one electron, and they have become stable. But they are not, now they are not reacting. But there is a still a confusion how it happened that in when we are having in science the number of particles in the outer shell, the same number of particle in the nucleus. But
हम्म
here in the nucleus, it is only one atom. So that is the unique atom, I can say. That is why it is the name given as the Jeevan atom. So
राइट।
still, I think this is the proposal by Babaji, and he must have seen those things. He must
हम्म
have understood those things, and we can have more research on these things. Like Didi was having some question yesterday, both
हम्म
in 7 to 8 and 8 to 9 groups. So
हम्म
yes, but now for now, I have understood how the development took place, और विकास जिसको हमने शब्द दिया, तो ये
हम्म,
विकास हुआ कैसे, ये थोड़ा सा मुझे समझ में आया था। तो
हाँ।
कोई भी या दीदी इसको करेक्ट कर सकते हैं। हाँ जी।
हम्म बढ़िया। Yeah, with this question, for the sake of knowledge, how does that happen through the existential? Where was it? The word was used through the existence's process, natural process in existence.
यस
The
यस,
status of
नेचुरल
Jivani is
प्रोसेस।
developed. So we can ask to one of the Prabodhaks, what does it exactly mean, natural process? बढ़िया।
नहीं, वो
हम्म
जीवन उसमें लिखा है भैया, मानव कर्म दर्शन में ना, ये
ओके।
एग्जैक्टली यही लैंग्वेज लिखी है। तो मैंने
अच्छा।
काफी देर तक उसके ऊपर सोचा, मनन किया
जी,
कि ये इस
हम्म
एटम के साथ ऐसा क्या हुआ कि इसने रिएक्शन नहीं की, है ना,
हम्म
और रादर एक सिंगल अपने आप में एक जीवन परमाणु बन गया।
हम्म
हाँ दीदी
रमेश
कुछ
भैया,
बोलना
मैं
चाह रहे हैं।
मैं ना थोड़ा सा ऐड कर देती हूँ। मैं भी अभी
हाँ जी,
कुछ एक
हाँ
बिंदुओं
जी,
पर आजकल सोच ही रही हूँ, जैसे मैंने कल भी कुछ रखे थे बात।
हाँ
तो
जी, हाँ
मैं
जी।
ऐड करती हूँ, आप जैसे सोच रहे हो उसी बात में ऐड कर रही हूँ, कोई करेक्शन नहीं है। तो
ठीक
देखो
है,
भैया,
ठीक है।
जैसे अपने पास जो जड़, जो भौतिक क्रियाएं रहती है ना, भौतिक वो रहते हैं,
फिजिको केमिकल रिएक्शंस, यस।
फिजिको केमिकल रिएक्शन में एक है केमिकल और एक है फिजिकल, है ना। तो वहां पर जब पहले जो कोश रहता है ना, आउटर जो शेल रहता है, उसमें ही
हम्म
इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का एक्सचेंज होता है
हम्म
और अंशों का एक्सचेंज होता है ना।
हम्म
और उसके बाद ये जो केमिकल रिएक्शंस रहती हैं, है ना, जहां तक मैं इसको समझ पा रही हूँ, इसको मुझे, मैंने कहीं तो इसको पढ़ा है, शायद मानव व्यवहार दर्शन में पढ़ा है। और उसमें फिर जो अंदर वाला सेल होता है ना, सेकंड सेल,
हम्म
आउटर शेल के नीचे जो अंदर वाला शेल रहता है, वहां पर भी चेंज हो जाते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन। और ये जो है ना जीवन, इसमें इसको इसको ऐसे कहें, सक्रिय रहते हैं। तो
हम्म
जो जीवन है ना, जीवन एटम के 3 कोश सक्रिय रहते हैं। आई एम जस्ट एडिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन, है ना, फॉर फॉर द सेक ऑफ थिंकिंग ऑन इट। तो
हम्म
जीवन में 3 कोश सक्रिय रहते हैं, इसको ऐसे भी समझ सकते हैं। आउटर जो शेल है उसी का नाम मन, फिर वृत्ति और चित्त। चित्त में भी आधा भाग है ना, ये सक्रियता रहती है कोशों की सक्रियता के हिसाब से, अगर हम इसको देखें
हम्म
तो इट इज जस्ट अ थॉट। और इसमें केवल, इसमें जस्ट अभी मैं क्वेश्चन डाल रही हूँ, उसको सोचिएगा, मैं भी सोचूंगी। कि क्या आउटर शेल के ये क्योंकि देखिए जब भी अपने पास ये रहता है ना भैया, कोई भौतिक परमाणु, तो उसके न्यूक्लियस में मल्टीपल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स या अंश, सॉरी, हाँ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं, मतलब उसमें मल्टीपल जो न्यूक्लियस में अंश रहते हैं। ये एक
हम्म।
ऐसा परमाणु है जो जिसमें नाभिक में मात्र एक अंश
हम्म।
है ना। तो
हम्म।
क्या ये अब ये ऐसा तो कोई परमाणु और तो है नहीं जड़। तो
हाँ।
आउटर शेल के, है ना, आउटर शेल के इलेक्ट्रॉन से ऐसा बैलेंस हो गया, ऐसा नहीं हुआ है। एक ये
हम्म।
कल्पना दे रही हूँ, उसको सोचिएगा। ये
हम्म।
ऐसा लगता है जैसे या तो ये रीशफल हो गया है किसी विकिरणीय प्रभाव के फलस्वरूप, है ना, और या तो अंश जब सज रहे हैं, है ना, तो सजते समय एक निश्चित अनुपात में हर एक वस्तु के लिए जो पदार्थ है ना, जो मटेरियल का जो अनुपात है, या तो वैसा सज गया है।
हम्म।
अभी मुझे ये बिंदु को मैं पूछूंगी किसी से, ये भी स्थिर होना मेरे लिए बाकी है। तो मैं
Yeah.
उसको यहीं पर ड्रॉप कर रही हूँ इस बात को।
हाँ नहीं, मुझे मुझे भी
सोचिएगा।
लगता है इस पे फर्दर
हम्म
रिसर्च होने की गुंजाइश है।
हम्म।
इस
हम्म।
पर काफी काम होने की गुंजाइश है, क्योंकि
हाँ।
वंस इट विल बी एस्टेब्लिश इट विल बी ए वंडरफुल थिंग टू
हाँ।
टू फर्दर द जीवन विद्या और मध्यस्थ दर्शन।
यस। यस।
Yeah. I just thought of a very practical example. There is a thing called scaffolding, and when a building is constructed, there are this sort of pipes you will see on the outer side, which are actually holding a structure which you think that, okay, is this part of the building? But no, once they are done, they will remove all those iron pipes, and then the whole scaffolding, which is called that special word for it, is used in construction, and they just fold it up, and the building stands by itself. So these things, I think the way you are saying is that the जो अंश में जो वो होते हैं, the particles, they are actually when the जीवन now the question again is, does the जीवन become, are there more जीवans in under construction? That is the question. If that is the, if the answer to that is yes, then these electrons or these particles which are outside also or in the middle, they are holding or trying to hold it stable, and that's how I see it, because those iron pipes structure which is outside, they are also holding the building stable and used for painting the building and all these kind of things, to put the fixtures and fittings. So I'm just having this idea, maybe that is the way that it is going, that it, it to put the central bindu in
हाँ।
balance, there are
हाँ।
these a lot of anshis that are present, and then once it is balanced, once it is purna, then they are removed, or they go away, or they just, that's what I'm guessing now.
हाँ, एक एक बाबा जी से शायद संवाद में ही आप लोगों को पढ़ने में मिलेगा। बाबा जी से किसी ने पूछा था कि क्या
Mm.
आपने जड़ को चैतन्य होते देखा, है ना, जब वो
Mm.
संक्रमण उसको बिंदु को देखा, तो बाबा जी ने कहा नहीं,
Right.
उसको नहीं देखा, क्योंकि वो समय काल की गणना में नहीं आता है, इसके लिए नहीं देखा है ना।
Okay.
तो एनीवेज मैं आजकल थोड़ा मनन करती हूँ, तो मेरे मन में जो आता है वो शेयर कर दिया मैंने। सब बिंदुओं को
Mm.
सोचा ही जा सकता है। मेरे अनुमान में ज्यादा मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि
Mm.
अस्तित्व सहज विधि से, जो मैं कल सोच रही थी, अब उसको रखती हूँ, तो मुझे लगता
Mm.
है अस्तित्व सहज विधि से
Mm.
नाभिकीय विकिरण के प्रभाव में जो विकिरणीय, ये जो ब्रह्मांडीय विकिरण रहता है ना, कॉस्मिक रेज के इफेक्ट में
Mm. Mm.
कोई परमाणु है जो
Mm.
रीशफल हो गए हैं।
Okay.
रीशफलिंग मतलब ऐसा हो गया कि नाभिक में एक और,
Mm.
मतलब रीशफल मतलब सारे अंश है ना, उनका एकदम से स्ट्रक्चर चेंज होकर के शायद
Mm.
ऐसा हुआ होगा। और
Mm.
फिर है ना वो एकदम से, मतलब उसका स्ट्रक्चर सही हो, स्ट्रक्चर
Mm.
एक सटीक मध्यस्थ स्ट्रक्चर बन गया होगा।
Right, right.
क्योंकि है ना, बाहर से अगर केवल अंशों का लेन देन होने से ये हुआ है, तो नाभिक में तो एक अंश नहीं होगा ना किसी भी जड़
Mm.
परमाणु के। ये
हाँ।
ऐसा मैं कह रही हूँ।
Yeah.
तो इसलिए ये अनुमान लगा रही हूँ, अभी गेस करने की ही उसमें हूँ। इसको
हाँ।
और
हाँ।
पूछूंगी, मैं पूछ के बताऊंगी भी जो
नहीं,
आंसर्स
मैंने
मुझे मिलेंगे।
दीदी एक दो प्रबोधकों से ये क्वेश्चन रेज
हाँ।
किया
हाँ।
है, अभी
जी।
Mm.
नहीं, जब मैंने एंट्री ही किया था,
हाँ। हाँ।
मतलब एक दो साल पहले की बात है।
जी।
तब
जी।
मैं यहाँ पे अटक गया था आके ना,
जी।
जब बीइंग ए
हाँ।
साइंस स्टूडेंट मुझे लगता था यार ये क्या हुआ, है ना,
Mm.
अगर ये मान लो लूज भी किया है एक इलेक्ट्रॉन्स और एक गेन भी किया है, तो न्यूक्लियस का क्या हुआ एकदम से,
हाँ,
मान लो
ये कैसे हो
63 वाले
गया।
में
हाँ।
60 कहाँ भाग
Mm.
गए, तो
हाँ।
आई
Mm.
कुडंट गेट द प्रॉपर आंसर, आई एम टेलिंग यू फ्रेंकली। उन्होंने
राइट।
कहा ये
Mm.
यूनिकनेस है, ये यूनिकनेस है, आप
Mm.
रिसर्च करिए, आप इस पे करिए।
हाँ।
तो ऐसा,
हाँ।
हाँ, बल्कि सोम भैया ने भी मुझे एक शिविर में ऐसा कहा था कि आप इस पे करिए, बट ये
हम्म।
यूनिकनेस है, इट
हम्म।
हैज बीन ऑब्जर्व। तो
हम्म,
हाँ ये-
उन्होंने कहा कि इट इज फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च फॉर एवरीवन, कि इस पे
हम्म,
रिसर्च
हाँ ये
की जाए,
ठीक
और
बात
आई थिंक हाँ जी।
हम्म,
मैं भी ऐसे ही सब अभी आजकल थोड़ा सोच रही हूँ। देखिए एक बात मुझे, मैंने इस पे बहुत नहीं सोचा, इसका कारण बाबा जी ने एक बारी ये कहा ना
हम्म,
कि जीवन है ना, जीना
हम्म,
सीख लो। उसके
हाँ,
बाद ये बहुत सारे ना ये बहुत
हम्म,
तार्किक प्रश्न ही हैं, है ना, इनका
हाँ,
उत्तर मिल भी जाए तो इससे कोई बहुत
ये
जीना नहीं
कुछ
बन जाएगा।
राइट
तो फिर
एग्जैक्टली।
मैं मेरे मन में फिर ये भी आता है कि हाँ, व्यवहारिक जो जीने वाला पक्ष है उस पे फोकस
फोकस।
करेंगे तो एक समय पे शायद, कोई समय पे हमको भी साक्षात्कार या अनुभव
हम्म,
की स्थिति में शायद इसका उत्तर आ जाएगा स्वयं से। तो फिर हम ज्यादा
Exactly the
उसमें नहीं
same.
सोचते।
Me and Sadhya were discussing today. Ki
या
why to get confused on this
या
this Jeevan atom? Rather, let
हम्म
us learn to
हम्म,
live according to what
हम्म
have been, what the
हाँ,
things are
हम्म
clear. जहाँ पर clear है उतना तो जीना सीख ले पहले.
बिल्कुल
Good
बिल्कुल ऐसा
point.
ही है। बट यू नो,
हम्म,
फॉर द सेक ऑफ ऑल द क्लैरिटी, बिकॉज सी वी आर आस्किंग दीज क्वेश्चंस आर नाउ ओपन एंडेड, है ना, ये आगे
हम्म,
भी पूछे जाएंगे। तो ये पूरी
हम्म,
मानव जाति के अर्थ में ही है कि ये
हम्म,
क्वेश्चन हमसे भी कोई बच्चा आगे, हमसे भी कोई पूछ ही सकता है, तो अपने पास
हम्म,
क्या इसके उत्तर हैं कि नहीं है।
हम्म,
तो इस अर्थ में ही है चर्चा। बढ़िया, लेकिन मुझे लगता है बढ़िया चर्चा। हाँ ठीक।
दीदी, आई थिंक जनक भैया, ये दोनों तरफ
हाँ,
से रिसर्च चल रही है। इवन
हाँ,
आई हैव रेड वन आर्टिकल बाय द न्यूरो साइंटिस्ट। वो
हम्म,
अपने एंड से लगे हुए हैं कि कैसे इस कॉन्शियसनेस को ब्रेन के
हम्म,
थ्रू समझे, है ना, उनकी
हाँ,
रिसर्च चल रही है। और आई थिंक वो भी किस कंक्लूजन पे पहुंचेंगे ये पता नहीं, बट
हाँ,
यस, दे आर डूइंग द रिसर्च एंड आई एम रीडिंग आर्टिकल्स ऑन दस। तो वो बड़ा
हाँ,
लगता है कि हाँ, दोनों तरफ से होना चाहिए रिसर्च, एंड
हम्म,
डेफिनेटली वी विल रीच टू सम कंक्लूजन someday,
हम्म,
and that will be the wonderful day.
हाँ,
यस, दैट इज फॉर श्योर, आई ऑल्सो अग्री।
हाँ।
इस पे
प्लस द
बहुत सारे तार्किक कंक्लूजन्स में हम लोग पहुंच जाएंगे मुझे लगता है।
Hmm. I think technically the physical instrumentation which is there will still have a lot of gaps in the sense that the zooming capabilities are still not that even today that we cannot see the atoms as such. We see a group of atoms and that too also, I mean, not so clearly. We are using electron microscopes, so we cannot see that exact structure so clearly. But yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Technology is anyways advancing in many folds. So definitely we have some hope, at least in the physical sense, that we will understand what is an atom. Then after that, maybe try to understand how is a Jeevan, or maybe probably even see what is a Jeevan look like. But I mean, it is also said that it travels very fast around the body. So again, now how will we catch it? All these questions arise, you know. So, but yeah.
नहीं,
So I.
इसको लेकिन
Hmm.
इसको मुझे लगता है यदि किसी की जिज्ञासा बहुत तीव्र होगी तो एक
Hmm.
समय में ये भी अनुसंधान हो ही सकता है ना।
Hmm.
बाबा जी का बहुत सारी जगहों पे इंटरेस्ट नहीं रहा तो उन्होंने उस चीज को बहुत एंटरटेन नहीं
Hmm.
किया। उसकी
Right.
आवश्यकता नहीं होगी तो अगर किसी दिन आवश्यकता बनी जाएगी, मान लो, ये भी
Hmm.
एक तर्क दे रही हूं मैं। और
Hmm.
बहुत सारी चीजें जैसे गणित है ना, तो गणित में सारी चीजें इंस्ट्रूमेंट से नहीं आई है ना, बल्कि जो
Hmm.
गणित
ज्ञान
गणित
से आए।
गणित, हाँ गणित नहीं नहीं, जो गणित है ना अपने आप में, या
Hmm.
जो फिजिक्स है ना, अभी
Hmm.
इसमें बहुत सारे हाइपोथेसिस के बेसिस पे हमने, इट इज कॉल्ड मैथमेटिक्स इज द लैंग्वेज ऑफ फिजिक्स, है ना।
Right.
तो
Right.
उसमें हमने सब कुछ यंत्र से नहीं, उसके कारण से यंत्र बनाए हैं।
Hmm.
तो एक ये भी एस्पेक्ट है ही कि हम तर्क विधि से ही बहुत सारी चीजों को गणना कर
Hmm.
लेंगे, है ना।
Hmm.
लॉजिक जो है, लॉजिक या मैथमेटिक्स जो है,
Hmm.
उस बेसिस पे हम लोग काफी सारा गणना या काफी सारा सटीक अनुमान लगा लेंगे। एक बारी
Hmm.
पापा ने क्लास में बोला था, जैसे जैसे
Hmm.
आप सही की तरफ बढ़ते हो ना, मतलब साक्षात्कार की
Hmm.
तरफ बढ़ते हो,
Hmm.
तो साक्षात्कार बोध अनुभव की तरफ, तो आपके अनुमान बहुत सटीक होने लग जाते हैं, है ना।
Hmm.
तो आदमी, मुझे लगता है जैसे जैसे परंपरा जागृत होगी, तो परंपरा में
Hmm.
जब शिक्षा जागृत होगी ना, तो ऐसी स्थितियों में बहुत
Hmm.
सारे जो बच्चे आगे के जो एजुकेशन में हैं, मतलब रहेंगे ग्रेजुएशन वगैरह में, उसमें
Hmm.
हो सकता है इसकी आवश्यकता हो जाए, है ना। और
Hmm.
बोध होने के क्रम में इस आवश्यकता के फलस्वरूप वो इन सब
Hmm.
चीजों का एक सटीक अनुमान बिठा सकते हैं, है ना।
Right.
जैसे सूरज के बीच की दूरी, और ये हम पढ़ते हैं रामचरितमानस में, सटीक लिख दिया उन्होंने, है ना,
Hmm.
धरती और सूरज के बीच की दूरी कितनी है, सटीक कैसे गणना हो
Hmm.
गई होगी।
Without
तो शायद-
instrumentation. Right.
हाँ, इज दैट मीन्स देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ अनुमान दैट वाज हैपनिंग। तो एक
Hmm.
सटीक अनुमान की स्थितियां बन जाती हैं।
Right.
तो मुझे ये भी लगता है कि ये इसकी भी संभावना है।
Hmm. बढ़िया, बढ़िया। Okay, so I will just reread some of the things that I highlighted. Uh, It has been observed that gap between feeling good and being good remains unchanged. So this again is observing about why we are saying that these gaps are there. Which gaps? That who is God, where is God, why is God, and subsequently some began to describe humans as machines. This concept too did not succeed, yet they continue to advocate for it, just as they couldn't adequately explain God yet persisted in discussing it. In this way, we have become stuck, unable to think of anything beyond this. The way out of this situation is to begin with the premise that Jeevan is eternal and body is a recurring event for Jeevan. The body gets formed in the womb and atom attains Jeevan status upon development through a natural process in existence. So, the cyclicity of the body is described here and how it is the Jeevan, that is the atom that drives the body starting from the womb. Okay. So I'll just maybe read one more paragraph because we are also having 10 minutes as we discussed, or maybe we can just pause here and maybe we have a summary. Is that a good idea? We can pause here. We also have some 10 minutes as we had discussed to talk on this. Maybe I'll just continue one paragraph till here because it is linked with the previous one, so that we can just finish up this topic of the Jivan and the human. Sorry, Jivan and the body. So the body gets formed and deformed repeatedly. Biological cells which constitute the body have a limited lifespan, after which they decompose. The human body, particularly the brain, represents the pinnacle of evolutionary completeness in the biological order. Yeah, so I'll just finish and then we can discuss. On this basis, I assert that humans are capable of conveying the knowledge of the entire existence to others. The brain's purpose cumulates, cu- culminates in this ability. Consequently, the human body, formed through successive explorations of Rachna Vidhi, the genetic code, in Prana Sutras, is the most advanced formation of biological order. Okay, I think we can pause there. So, this again is describing that human is a marvel of biological order, and this again, the humans are the only ones who can convey the knowledge of the entire of existence to others, and by others it means to other humans. So this again, the highlighted sentence is also very complete in itself, that we are the highest order, the biological order, and the evolutionary completeness, right? And we only are able to convey this knowledge of the entire of existence to others. Very beautiful and very grave responsibility, I would say, to the humans, because we are ourselves calling ourselves as humans, so we are capable of conveying this knowledge, है ना? So ये बहुत बड़ी बात है और बड़ी जिम्मेदारी की बात है. जो समझदार है वो जिम्मेदारी लेगा. So I'm just reminded of that sutra. बढ़िया. So you can pause here and sort of have a discussion. Yeah. Anybody wants to add to today's talk?
हाँ भैया, जो लास्ट पैराग्राफ हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे कि वो
Hmm.
आइडियलिज्म में जो दृश्य दर्शन और दृष्टा जो है वो
Hmm.
ईश्वर को ही बोला गया है ना। तो
हाँ.
यहाँ पे एक ऐसा नहीं बोला गया ईश्वर को। हमें ये बोला तो गया कि ऑल फोर forms are submerged in the omnipotence or omnipresent,
Hmm.
but it is the human being or is the person who is dishta bhokta karta, dishta
Hmm.
karta and bhokta, not the god. That is
Right.
the see difference। और
Right.
उन्होंने कहा कि ईश्वर ही दृश्य और देखने वाला है। इस आधार पर बहुत सारा जो लिटरेचर लिखा गया,
Hmm.
लेकिन
Hmm.
इसके बाद भी ईश्वर कैसा है कहाँ, ये किसी को समझ नहीं आया।
Right.
इसके बाद
Hmm.
भी ईश्वर के आधारित बातें आदमी सुनता है, अच्छी लगती हैं, बट हर
Hmm.
अच्छी लगने वाली बात अच्छी होती नहीं है। तो ये भी
हाँ.
एक अच्छा गुड लाइंस थी जिस पर
Hmm.
ध्यान गया बार बार, और डेली बेसिस पे हम लोग डिस्कस करते ही हैं ये चीजें।
Hmm. Yeah. इसमें जो मेरे को भी लाइट हुई ये बात कि कितना हम लोगों को एक गॉड मैन या गॉड पर्सन को भी हम लोग देखते हैं, तो हाउ मच दे आर इन मिस्टिसिज्म, दे कीप देमसेल्व्स इन मिस्टिसिज्म इवन डे इन टुडेज डे एंड एज. सो वी कैन सी कि हाउ इजीली this whole darshan is opened up for the whole of mankind. So again it becomes crucial for the people who are studying it to have how do I say, to have uh, compassion for the whole of humanity as they are studying, because every now and then Babaji is saying the whole of humanity, the whole of existence, all this kind of words are used. तो इसके मतलब यही है कि हम लोगों को जितना भी दर्शन में समझ में आ रहा है, every human being will be able to understand it. So I think this is a very hopeful and a very beneficial thing about this darshan, I would say. कि जो चीज़ इतना हार्ड बताया गया था पहले, उसको इतना आसानी से सब लोगों के लिए जस्ट मात्र यू आर सपोज टू कीप योर mind focused on learning, and that through the education system, even the parampara in the future, it will be easiest to see that from the childhood itself, so many things will be sorted out, and the people will be the children will be living in harmony and with coexistence. And indeed, once they turn adults and adolescents, they will also start exhibiting. So because the adolescent time, as I mentioned in the beginning of this today's sorry, the lecture, is that we are facing a very, very negative backlash of individualism, and that is represented in the schooling system on the foreign lands. Because यहाँ पर तो बच्चों को तो थोड़ा थोड़ा सा इधर उधर होते तो हम उसको सीधा कर लेते by corporal punishment and all this kind of thing. But in the countries which are outside of the or so-called developed countries, those kids are not even allowed to be touched because they will call the police. The children will call the police on the teachers or the parents or whatever. So, and then the police will take away the parents, and the children will be given to the office of taking care of child parents without parents, kids without parents. So this is the kind of duty that are given there to the parents, that they are not allowed to have any sort of violent behavior with the kids. So a lot of hyper individualism is seen there. And now with this darshan, we will also see a group of youngsters, young minds, resolved in their minds. They'll be able to contribute more, be it to the environment, to the production, to the to the harmony. We also mentioned once before that to fix the earth, or the whole of population which are able to work will need to work for more than 500 years to get it sorted to the way it was, like the flourishing way it was when the humans were in coexistence with everything else. So that is a lot of work that needs to be done, है ना. तो उसके लिए बहुत तैयारी भी चाहिए, है ना.
We have the young mind with us. Shivangi want
हाँ.
to say, would she like something to say
हाँ.
about today's discussion?
We are always eager if
It
you are.
was a very good discussion. Actually, I was hearing everything.
हाँ हाँ.
But today I don't have anything to add to it right now.
कोई.
Because
ओके. कोई बात नहीं.
it was everything, बहुत सारा mind opening discussion रहा.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing that I was linking the today's talk with a series, and also we talked about artificial intelligence, how it's going to add if we are going to take it to the right way. Uh, of course, see how if we are in disharmony, the disharmony will also be replicated in the way we see artificial intelligence also. So some people are optimistic about artificial intelligence. Some people are saying it will take over all the jobs. Some people are saying that the robots will be coming into a house, they'll be staying there. But look, if we are freed up from all the mundane tasks and we are a lot of activities based work is there, especially in a disadvantage, but it is the disadvantage for the short term. And the long term, if you look at it, uh, with the right mindset, with the orderly population, a lot of wealth will be released. Like in the a lot of people are hoarding the things, be it land or be the money or whatever it is. A lot of thing will be released, and that will be used to the betterment of all of humanity. So now that is also another very promising situation, that when there is orderliness, when there is artificial intelligence also on the table, and all these come together with orderliness in mind, and humans which are with orderliness in mind, then first, number one, artificial intelligence will take over all the mundane tasks, right? So number two, that will free up a lot of human populations towards learning, towards knowledge, towards building their knowledge base, right? And then three, this will create a harmony between the artificial intelligence and human beings and the three orders again. So I'm treating artificial intelligence as another complete entity, but it's not as such, it's just machinery, because it is being driven by human beings also. But what I'm saying is, when there will be orderliness, there will be also the right use of it. It's Babaji has also said that we have not even touched biological inventions. We are just touching physical inventions, be it the telescope, the computer, all these kind of things. They don't have any biology inside it. They are just physical, chemical, not even chemical reactions, just physically existing, stable atomic particles bound together in silicon wafer chips, and then they are connected with electricity and they are working. Nothing chemical is happening also. So if we go down the line of chemical also, maybe we can say the batteries are chemical. Okay, that is acceptable. But we have not touched at all biological products and making biological products. Apart from trees, but that is also obviously from the seed parampara. We have not done anything to that. That is just we are carrying forward of it. But we have a lot to go, and we have a lot of thanks to be given to a lot of inventions in the past and what also that are being invented today, है ना? So इस बात से हम कंक्लूड करें आज का सेशन, है ना? बढ़िया, चलो, we meet again tomorrow same time. Everybody have a good night.